Hi folks, welcome to our video series on health and safety. We're going to start off here talking about, actually I think I want to go to the slide before this, some of the key aspects for workplace health and safety. We've talked already a little bit about health and safety, what it is and why it's important, but we should talk about some of the key aspects in a little bit more detail. First of all, the whole concept of safety itself, which is about not just preventing, which is mostly about preventing workplace accidents and injuries. We want to also talk about controlling the cost of health and safety and workplace accidents, because when people are in accidents, guess what? They're off work, right? And we also want to talk about workplace health, meaning creating and maintaining a healthy work environment. So this is all tied up with the concept of workplace wellness. Traditionally, most of the emphasis has been on safety, number one, but with work changing a lot in Canada and with more emphasis on work-life balance, health issues are becoming just as important, the whole concept of workplace wellness. So we need to focus a little bit more on that. Now, workplace wellness doesn't just necessarily mean work-life balance. It can also look at a whole bunch of programs put in place to keep employees healthy, like fitness programs, smoking cessation programs, any of those kinds of things. So we're going to discuss a few of those when we get into the health aspects of health and safety. So let's first of all look at safety. In order to prevent workplace accidents and injuries, we have to know where we're most open and susceptible to workplace accidents. So let's start to analyze causes of accidents. This is done by health and safety people in organizations. Sometimes there are chance occurrences, just these freaky little things that happen. Somebody bumps up against, just wasn't looking where they were going, bumps up against a filing cabinet, gets scratched in the eye and they're off work, right? Some of these things we can't control. They're beyond management's control. But sometimes there are just some unsafe working conditions. If we're operating equipment which we know is defective, maybe they're just some hazardous procedures. Anything as simple as not washing your hands after you've touched, oils and workplace chemicals, that kind of thing, and maybe even storing things in an unsafe manner, okay? Maybe we've piled boxes too high. Maybe we haven't cordoned off an area where we're doing some work. Those kinds of things are all sort of unsafe work conditions. We can also engage in what we call unsafe acts. Some of those things, we sort of take for granted. Some examples might be lifting improperly, operating or working at unsafe speeds. Maybe we're working too fast or working too slow. Maybe we're throwing materials. So maybe we're throwing boxes around in the warehouse, maybe we're horsing around, maybe we're racing forklifts in the warehouse. Those kinds of things, they're just not safe and not smart things to do. Sometimes the job itself might be more dangerous, if you're working by the blast furnace in a steel manufacturing environment, What about people who collect garbage, God knows what's in a lot of those bags that they pick up, right? So the jobs themselves can be more dangerous, and they probably just have to lift more as well, right? We also know that when we work nights or afternoon schedules, night shift workers have higher accidents because a lot of them are just a lot more tired, right? So there's those aspects as well that are problematic and need to be analyzed to see if we can do things differently to accommodate work schedules. There's also psychological climate of the work environment. Sometimes a lot more people work for nasty bosses and are a lot more stressed, and that could be a cause of more accidents in the workplace. So a lot of these things factor into workplace safety. So we'll conclude now, and we'll get to our next video, which is going to be looking at accident prevention.